Yeah, I
thought
gotta
you
ask a
said
follow-up to
something
that
over.
too,
Yeah.
because I got into a little debate with Braylon the other day in the chat in our chat thread, and he
Oh
was
yeah,
talking
Brandon
about,
knows everything, but go ahead.
and I want to ask you directly because if anybody knows this answer to this question, it would be you. He specifically said I made the argument. I still feel this way that if the Pistons took Melo second overall, that because we know how, especially how it would be Larry Brown at the time. Like he's not. I don't think Melo would walk out and be the Melo we know today. Like today, Melo was bred to be what he is. Like in every situation, Melo is the franchise player. They look at him like, listen, you're leading us to victory. Put the ball in your hands, we'll figure it out. I think with Detroit, there was a chance that he could have maybe playing with veterans, learning how to win, learning how to play the right way. It's not like Melo would have walked in and be like, all right, scoot over, Chauncey, scoot over, Rip. It's my team now. I'm getting my 25. From your point of view, and a lot of people, we've had a lot of debates about this. Do the Pistons still win the title if they take Melo?
Yeah, because Melo would say, hey, Tayshaun, move over. This is my starting spot.
And I'm cool with that.
Yeah. I think they still would have won it, and they may have done a little bit more down the road because then you would have built a team a little bit around Melo when these guys got older, or Dwayne Wade was also in consideration.
Right. That's another one. Yeah.
Right. So in hindsight, I would have rather have Dwayne Wade, but I think what the Pistons missed out on is they missed out on continuing that run.
Right.
Because then you would have had a young guy, and maybe you build around him. Maybe you find some other young guys that you can put around him and continue to run a little bit longer. So I think that's where they blew it with the Darko thing.
Yeah, it's
And
really
he also one. I want to add this too.
They probably wouldn't have traded for Rasheed.
He said that, but he also said he's like, my sources. He talks to people on the team. I don't know who, he didn't specify who he talked to, but he said they didn't want Melo. Like they didn't even want. And I'm like, okay. I don't know how true that is, but in your opinion, like, is there any truth to that? Possibly, like, are guys out like Rasheed, or not Rasheed, but Ben Wallace, Chauncey, Rip, are these guys actually saying Tayshaun, like, yeah, don't take Melo? Like, I don't think they would do.
I think it only goes to this. They're trying to support Tayshaun, and they're saying, well, he's our guy because he's our teammate. He's good enough, so we don't need Melo. I think they may have gone there, but as far as now, we don't want him. I don't think that was the case. I think,
or maybe said it now.
Yeah, I think it was more of a case that they're trying to support their teammates because all these guys always support their teammates. They're always the greatest thing since sliced bread, and so that's as far as it goes for me.
Right, and I mean the other thing they definitely knew was that Darko wasn't it. And they've made that public knowledge. I mean, like that's
so. If you're not taking Darko, I mean, come on.
Yeah.
And once they figured that out, the players just crushed him in practice. And that's just another thing is he couldn't play, but the players made sure of that because they would just crush him in practice. Like Rasheed would just make sure that this guy couldn't get out of bed the next day. He would just work him during practice. But that was the Pistons have a history of doing that. If they see somebody on the roster who can't play, they go right after him and say, management, you goofed up here. What are we going to do about this?
Hey, I like it. Mm-hmm. Are they real or are they not? Like, what are they built of? You know, like if you're going to back down, then clearly you weren't the option anyway.